501 to control. "501 to control, over."
Yes, 501.
I'm in Ashley Road. The door to number 35, the tobacconist, is insecure. Please contact the key holder, Mr. Edwards, H.M. Edwards. He lives somewhere on the Orchard Estate. I don't know his number, but I know he's on the phone. Over.
Understood, 501. Do you require assistance? Over.
Seems quiet. I'll check further, but I will require the key holder.
That's understood, 501. Do you require assistance?
I'll ask if I do, control. 501 out. All right, let's be having you. "501 to control, over."
Yes, 501.
This tobacconist. It's been done, really cleaned out. The method of entry is not yet clear at the moment, but it looks like the whole stock's gone. I suggest you inform neighbouring patrols to check any suspicious vehicles, over.
Not a big crime on your patch, Parkin. We've alerted the key holder. Do you now require assistance? Over.
Yes, especially in alerting neighbouring patrols.
That's being done now. We'll send you 2 mobiles as well to assist in local searches and statements.
Thank you.
We've also had a 999 call saying there's a lot of light on the tobacconist.
There is.
And your wife's on the phone now. She's had a call too. Mrs. Yardley.
Just tell Beth I'm all right, will you?
Thank you, Sergeant. No, I'll phone Mrs. Yardley and say it's in hand. She called here, not to your office. She'll be glad to know that Moss is handling things in the village.
But everything's gone. Everything.
Looks like it.
We shall have no stock for the morning.
Or for evening, likely.
It's a disaster.
Now then, Mr. Edwards, you've been very sensible. You came here very quickly.
Broke the speed limit, I can tell you.
I prefer that you didn't do that. Now, how much stock?
Well, the price of baccy now...
No, I
reckon
don't
it's
mean
worth...
cost, I mean bulk.
Weight?
I mean, would they have needed a lorry, or how big a car, or how big a van?
Oh. In cartons there were, and there were 7 cartons back there. Oh, they'd need a van. Well, there's more than going a car boot, I mean. A lot more. Let me see, 7 cartons unpacked they were, and my shelves full, and...
Heard you had a bit of trouble, Moss. Had Panda 3 bring me over with them. They're out there now with the dirty great big patrol car. Go on, brief them, will you?
Thank you. This is Detective Constable Radley, Mr. Edwards. I got him looking outside.
All right. Tell me, Mr. Edwards, how did they get in?
Well, how do I know?
Locked the door, did you?
I always lock the door.
Ah, yes, but did you tonight?
Yes.
Well, take it easy, sir. I've got to do my work.
I locked the door. Both locks.
Well, let's have a look then, shall we? Keys, please. Yeah. Ah, well, they seem smooth enough. There's no interference there. Tell me, how many keys are there, Mr. Edwards?
2, you can see.
I mean, you have a set. Who else has a set?
Nobody.
What happened if you lost those?
Well, I've got another pair.
Oh, where?
In a drawer at home.
Would you know if they're still there?
Bound to be.
Would you know if they're still there?
No, not no.
Well, how can we find out?
I can look.
Well, can we phone your home now and see if
No,
they're
it'd be no good. There'd be nobody there. I live on my own.
Bachelor?
A widower. I've been for 10 years.
Sorry. Let's have a look for the spare set, all the same. Just in a drawer, are they?
Yes.
Drawer you keep locked?
Not usually, no.
Oh? Who'd have access to them? I mean, who cleans for you and that?
Well, Mrs. Porter, but she's very reliable. I've had her for years.
We'll have to check all the same. First thing to do is get a list of stock. Have you got the invoices and that?
At home. I keep the books at home. And the cash.
Well, better get out there then. Check the invoices and the spare set of keys as well.
Well, does it have to be now?
There's no time like the present.
Well, it's not very convenient.
Well, I didn't exactly relish coming charging over here, you know. It's not very convenient for me.
Well, it's just that... Well...
Well, what?
Mobiles are off. They're driving around. They'll be looking in parked cars, checking lorries, that sort of thing. There might be 1 or 2 people might have seen something. You stopping?
I thought I'd go on with Mr. Edwards. Check his spare set of keys. His invoices are there as well.
Look, it's not very convenient.
It's the crime we want to solve, Mr. Edwards. You can keep Mavis Hopkins out of sight upstairs.
Well, how did you know?
It's not much I don't know about Fickley. Mavis is sort of accommodating. It's every other Thursday, isn't it?
Oh, yes, but I didn't think...
It's the list of stolen goods we're about, Mr. Edwards.
And the keys. Still where they usually are they?
Yes?
Not like higher up, lower down in a different corner.
No, not as far as I can remember.
When did you last see them?
Well, I don't know. I don't use that drawer much.
So they could have been borrowed without you noticing.
Yes, but who'd want
Whoever
to?
wanted to get into your shop the easy way. Now, who knew you had a spare set in that drawer?
Nobody.
You sure? Have you never locked the keys in the shop? Snapped the ale shut, had to come back here for the second set. Send somebody back, tell somebody.
Thought you'd fancy a cup of tea.
That's very kind of you, Miss Hopkins.
Oh, you can call me Mavis.
Oh, I'm Ron Radley.
He's a detective.
Oh, never met one of them before.
Oh, I should watch out, Mavis. They're usually dark horses.
Plenty of them about, aren't there?
So I'm told.
Oh, there are. You'd never think so, would you? I mean, not really, not by looking at him.
You're making me envious.
Oh, any time. I always keep 2 nights a week free.
The rest are regulars, are they?
Off and on. You'd be surprised if I told you. But I don't tell.
Oh, well, that's a good job.
Was the lot taken then?
Aye, everything. Stripped the place bare.
You poor thing. Here, how did they get in?
We think through the front door.
The nerve! Break it in, did they?
No force the locks. We think they used a key.
Oh, but he keeps his keys on a chain on his trouser button. Oh, do you mean the spares?
You knew there were spares.
Well, of course. You remember, Mr. Edwards? 6 months ago, was it? I was waiting and you'd locked your keys in. And I said not to worry, but you did worry and you had to get up and go back and get
Did you know where the spare set was kept?
Well, they're in that drawer, aren't they? Can't you find them?
Aye, they were there.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
We're trying to find out how many people knew there was a spare set and where they were kept.
Well, I knew and... Hey, what are you getting at?
Now, Mavis.
Don't you now me. I'm a respectable girl, I am, and if you're saying that
I'm
take
not
those...
saying anything.
Well, is he then? Are you?
I'm just asking how many people knew there was a spare set and where they were kept. Now, did you tell anybody?
No, I said I don't tell.
That's all right then.
It might be all right for you. I'm off home. Now. I'll get dressed.
I never thought.
What?
But she's so jolly, you know. I never thought.
What?
Well, she's got a brother younger than her.
Well?
Well, you'd have found out anyway. He's been in trouble.
Thieving.
Aye. Got sent to Borstal after approved school. He's a right bad lick.
I heard you, Mr. Edwards. And it's the last time you'll see me. Our Dave's straight now. I know he is. He's straight and he's working. He's doing well, and just because some dirty old man you...
Did you tell your brother about the keys?
No!
Sure?
I told you, I don't tell.
Then maybe it's just a coincidence.
It is.
Happen
It
it
must
is. We'll have to check, love. We all got to check in to do in the morning.
Well, that's about it then, Moss.
Aye.
They were clever, you know. I'll check the prints, of course, but it's not hopeful. You'll get anything?
Nobody saw anything, nobody heard anything. Except some old dear heard when I came in and put lights on.
Nothing a Bobby does is secret.
You can say that again. I stopped on the way here this morning 3 times. People asking me if I knew there was another man in my house last night. And you out on duty, Mr. Parkin?
I hope you did know.
Aye, Beth and I put Ron Radley up.
I am famished.
You can have another cup of tea if you like, but we eat when Moss gets back and not before.
The smell of that bacon's driving me mad.
Oh, I thought it was my fatal charm. Or do you prefer our Mavis?
Do I have to choose?
I'll start serving.
Right, tyrant you are. No food till master's home.
I'll pay for it. You'll be claiming for a refreshment allowance.
I'll split it with you.
Won't have me sharing your corruption. Never. Thanks, love. Just what I need.
Me too.
At last. Oh, I've got no stomach for it.
Strapping young lad like you.
Near enough what I feel like, 6 foot and gormless.
Here, here.
You've had no sleep.
I'm not likely to, am I?
You can change your shift.
What's this crime on me patch? Do you know how much we're taking? Nearly 4,000 quid's worth of cigarettes and tobacco. That's not counting lighters and pipes.
Go in your statistics.
Oh, it's a right blow. A real slap in the chops. Hell of a lot of good I am at crime prevention.
And Edwards knocked his door.
People should be able to leave the doors unlocked.
Ah, that'll be the day.
He wants things perfect. There'll always be somebody breaking things up.
Patrol cars find nothing.
Oh, just one stolen vehicle abandoned. Nothing to do with this job.
What'll you do now?
Pray.
That'll be a change.
No, well, I'll speak to Mavis's brother, Dave.
Why? He's got a job now. And
Going
he's...
straight up.
Happen.
Well, she likely told him about the spare set of keys.
Yeah, and he's fly enough, thinks he's professional enough to have had 'em for days. Could have made impressions even.
You know him then?
I locked him up last time.
I thought... Oh, well...
What did you think?
Well, more a feeling, really. I thought he'd learned his lesson.
Ah, some of them never do.
They never do. Think we're open 24 hours a day.
And we are.
You are.
Come on. Wanted no lodging on doorstep, Mr. Parkin. You didn't want to come.
Don't blame him. Hello, Dave.
Hello.
Well, what have you brought him for then?
About last night. He didn't do it.
Do you say that, Dave?
Oh, aye.
All right then, just 2 things. Did you know that Mr. Edwards had a spare set of keys?
I may have done.
Come on, you're not in court now. Just answer me.
Oh, go on, Dave. Tell him.
She said something about a drawer.
But not which drawer, not which room even.
Is that right, Dave?
That's right.
All right, then, where were you last night?
At home.
All night?
I got home 9, half past, I took the whippet out just round the block.
And then?
I went to bed. I was in bed by 10:30.
So nobody saw you?
Well, there's no one else at home, is there? You know where she was.
Well, it wouldn't be much of an alibi.
He don't need no alibi.
Did you do it, Dave?
No.
Take your time. Look me in the eye. David Hopkins, did you go to that tobacconist last night? And did you just steal those cigarettes and tobacco, lighters and pipes? Take your time. Did you?
No, Mr. Parkin.
All right then, well, you best get off to work, hadn't you? That's 3 hours off your shift you'll have lost already.
Right. Thanks.
You do believe him, don't you?
Happen.
You can believe him. He knows I'd kill him if he started thieving again. I told him I couldn't stand the disgrace.
Well, how long are you going on with your business?
It's not a business. Oh, I get presents sometimes. You're not getting me on business.
I don't mean to. But how long?
Year or two yet. I'll have enough saved up then.
Save for what?
To get married, of course.
Anybody in particular?
I got him lined up. He doesn't know yet. I'm better off home.
Aye, keep your eyes open, Mavis. We've got to solve this.
Otherwise some mud'll stick, you mean? Aye, happen it would. They're an hard lot round here.
Surprise me, I can tell you. I'm not a drinking man, I hardly ever go into pubs. But this morning, here was Bill Robbins from the King's Arms and Al Furley from the Dirty Dock, both with all the cigs they had in stock. Help keep you going, they said.
I must Parkin had a word with both of them. Told them the village could do with a bit of neighbourliness.
Oh, well, they sure did, didn't they?
Aye. Tell me, Mr. Edwards, what time did you close last night?
Usual, just after 7.
And you did lock up?
I've said I'm sure I did.
Were you busy before you closed?
Not more than usual.
Were your last customers? Do you remember any of them?
Why?
It's worth checking in case anybody saw anything. Did you have any strangers in yesterday?
No strangers, no. I'll try and remember the last half dozen. Now, there was old Joe Jackson. He had half a shag.
Oh, write them down, Mr. Edwards, write them down. And take your time. You'll find more names come to you if you write them down. I'll just carry on prowling around.
A spring cleaning or something?
You not heard? I was cleaned out last night. All my stock stolen.
Oh, my God. Is that what they were doing?
Who's they?
Who are you?
Radley's the name, I'm a detective.
Tell Mr. Parkin.
He's been up most of the night, he'll be in bed.
I'll tell Mr. Parkin.
You can't tell me, you know, I'm a police officer. If you've got any information, it's your duty to tell me.
Don't you talk to me about duty, young man. I was on duty last night and I saw them and I didn't think. I'm so ashamed. Tell Mr. Parkin. My mind was on young Maisie Briggs, you see. 4 weeks early she was, and I knew there'd be difficulties, what with it being her first and all, and her husband going frantic as well.
How is she?
Oh, she's fine, and a bouncing boy. But it took some time. I wasn't home until 6, and the lorry went straight out of my head.
Now, about the lorry.
11:30 it was. I was on my way to Maisie Briggs on my bicycle, and I passed this lorry outside Mr. Edwards' shop. 2 men there were. I thought they were carrying the stuff into his shop, you see. Well, they do deliver things funny times these days.
So do you.
But I just didn't think.
Well, think now then, please. What sort of lorry was it?
Green, I think.
How big?
Oh, I don't know much about lorries or cars.
Yes, but about how big?
Oh, I suppose it was more of a van. It had double doors at the back, and it was, now let me think. Do you know that builder's van, George and Sons? Well, about that size.
Did it have anything written on it?
Not that I saw. And don't ask me, I didn't notice the number.
And the men?
Overalls they had on.
Tall? Short? Thin? Fat? Old? Young?
Well, it didn't behave old, not the way they was lugging those cartons about. And I just didn't think.
You've been very helpful all the same, Mrs. Sowerby. Now, we've got 2 men, a green van, it all helps, and the time helps. Now, did you see anyone else?
Only little Sam Fox.
Oh. Oh? Where did you see him?
Just on the street corner. I told him, I said to him, time you was home, young Sam.
Just a minute, please. Would you make Mrs. Sowerby a cuppa, Beth?
All right, love.
And ask Ron to come in here, would you? It's all right, Mrs. Sowerby. Ron's a mate of mine, as well as like a colleague.
Well, I just wanted to tell you first.
11:30, green van, likely a 1000 weight. We'll show you some so you can check, and 2 men.
Description?
Well, I didn't see very much.
Just a moment, please. Ron will ask you about that in a minute, and I'm sure you'll be very helpful. The point is, Mrs. Sowerby also saw little Sam Fox.
Oh, aye.
Well, have you got the list?
What list?
The list of Edward's last customers.
Aye.
There you are, you see. He's written the 2 Fox kids.
Well?
Well, it means little Alfie Fox, who's 13, and Sam, who's 9.
Well?
Well, 2 kids go into the shop to buy fags he's no right to sell them.
Oh, that's got nothing to do
No,
with it.
2 of them go in, but only 1 comes out. The other one stays behind.
Oh, where?
Plenty of places. They dodge about while his back's turned. In that cupboard under his counter. Little Sam's small enough to get in there.
Aye, and wicked enough.
Now, you'll not talk about this, will you, Mrs. Sowerby?
No.
It's your duty not to.
Aye.
Do I go for the lad?
What's on my patch? His mother'll never speak to you. And I have to talk to him in her presence, don't I?
He was in his bed by 10, Mr. Parkin. I swear to God he was in his bed by 10.
But you're in the dirty duck till 10:30, you know you were.
Then he was in his bed by 11. When I got back, he was in his bed.
Did you look?
Of course I looked. I swear to God he was in
Don't
his bed.
swear any more, Mrs. Fox, not any more. I'm going to ask Sam myself.
I'll bring him down to the station.
I'll wait.
I'll bring him down to the station.
Sorry, Wagon. How do you find out?
Don't
Be
you
quiet.
say anything about...
Find out what, Sam?
Not falling for them tricks. I was in that baccy shop. Lay under the counter till the van came.
Then you open the door.
That's right.
How much did you get for it?
15 bob. And this. Dave Hopkins told her I got this.
David Hopkins.
Yeah, he put me up to it. Said last night was best night for it.
He'd know.
Don't believe it.
You'll have to.
Little kid tells filthy lies.
Be careful, you know, we check. We can't touch that kid. He's way below the age of criminal responsibility, and he knows it. We can lay hands on your Dave.
If you touch an hair of his
Grow
head...
up, Mavis. But we don't have to tell you what we know or what we suspect. We're only telling you because, well, I like you.
And he fancies me.
Well, I do too, but we're telling you because we believed you, you see. We're having David picked up now.
Now? Where?
At work. You'll not be coming home tonight.
I said if he started thieving again, I'd murder him.
Exactly. Oh, we don't want to have to lock you up and all, do we?